So you want to know, you definitely want to know, if you want that checklist, I'm going to tell you to go page 77. There's a blank page there, so that we're going to have more space there. So if you want to go there, I will give you a review, a checklist here real quick. '77. That's it. So, test checklist, you can also call this quiz checklist, is the same thing. Okay, so you gotta be able to figure out the mystery angles. Okay, and for that we use a bunch of tools, right? You need to know that, right, a straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, we use that symbol for it. You gotta know that vertically opposite angles are always congruent. That's when you have something like this, okay? You gotta know that sum of a triangle is always equal to 180. You gotta know that your isosceles triangles, right? If you wanna know, if you know both of these sides, if you wanna know B, right? This would be A at the top here. To find angle B, you just go 180 minus A divided by 2, right? Like that would be basically if you know one angle, if you know one angle in an isosceles triangle, you know all angles, okay? I hope you remember that. So you also need the 4 pairs. Only true if lines are parallel. Okay, so that's it's a big if. Okay. Okay. Move it down here. So you want your, basically, if you're able to travel along the transversal, and you're able to make a Z, you're in business, right? So, for example, like this, we know that these two are alternate interior, right? Alternate interior angles are the same. Okay, that's one of them. And then you've got the alternate exterior. I'm going to make it look different every time, okay? I would still say if you can make one of those Z's, it's easier to see, but you travel along one of the transversals, and so if you have that angle and this one, you can transfer numbers over. If you have a number up here, you can transfer it to this side and vice versa, right? So these are alternate exterior angles are the same. Okay, so that's one of those that you need to know. Let's throw in a triangle into the mix here. You've got 2 parallel lines. There's 2 transversals, right? Stick with one transversal at a time. So if you're traveling on this one and you notice, oh yeah, there's a Z there somehow, we know that this one that touches the transversal, right? If this parallel line which touches the transversal is a certain angle, then this parallel line that touches the same transversal here, what do we call those two? Corresponding, yeah. Maybe corresponding angles. CIA is very similar, right? CIAs would be both inside. So let me see if I can make it even messier. What? Stop doing that. Oh, there's a parallelogram, and let's say these two are parallel. You know what? No, I'm going to change the narrative because you're too used to them always being this way. So what if these two lines are parallel? Right? Then this angle right here and this angle right there, these are the CIAs that would add up to 180, right? Those two would add up to 180 because it's the parallel lines that you kind of want to consider. And so if you're traveling along this transversal, right, this transversal touches that parallel line and this parallel line. So it's between, it's these two that need to add up to 180. So consecutive interior angles add up to 180. So that consecutive interior is the only one that adds up to 180, right? Both of them. So you need to know those. Maybe I'll highlight the transversal again. You're like, I can't make a Z. I know you can't, not in this case. But it's still focusing on the transversal and the parallel lines. Question, are these two CIAs? The answer is yes. Say what? These are CIAs, but do they add up to 180? Not necessarily, because these two lines are not parallel. You know what I mean? It's between the parallel lines where the CIAs add up to 180. So I wouldn't even, don't say, oh, this is 60, so that must be 120. Don't do that, because these two lines that are connected by the transversal are not parallel. So this is only, we're focusing on the transversal that connects the parallel lines. Okay, so that's, you're traveling between parallel lines. That's always the key here.
Excuse me.
Yes?
It could be not 120, so what is, how to find it?
Which one?
That angle there.
This one?
Yeah.
Well, if this is 120, then this has to be 60. If this is 100, this has to be 80, right? So, that's that. What's this one? This one here and this one? Do we have a name for them? Is there a parallel line somewhere up here? If you travel along the transversal, is there a parallel line anywhere? No. So don't be using, oh, this one corresponds to that one. No, it doesn't. Okay. How can you find this one? Think of the triangle, right? So if you have these two, you can find that one and so forth. Okay. So that's something you need to know. I will say solve for X. Those types of questions, go look them up. They're all over. They're scattered kind of all over the place. If you go through the review starting on page 56, I think, that I was meant, 51, then there's some solving for X in there if you need to solve that. So I'm going to be careful here. This is not going to work most likely, but if this is 2x and this is x minus 1, how would you set this up? And obviously these are parallel, sorry. What do we know about these two angles? They're supplementary, right? So you need to add these two and then make that equal to 180 and solve for x. Okay. Alternatively, if you would have, let's see, if this is 3x and this is 2x plus 1, how would you solve for x there? How would you set it up? These are what? Alternate exterior. And so it's 3x is equal to 2x plus 1. It's probably not going to work. I'm just making this up. So don't be saying, Mr. Dirksen, I'm confused. This doesn't work, right? It's a setup that is important here. And then you solve for x accordingly. Okay, so be ready for that. Then be ready for polygons just in general. So polygons. You know their names. N is equal to number of sides. So know the prefixes. Put it on your study sheet if you need. You need these ones. Sum of interior angles, interior angle, central, exterior, number of diagonals. These only work for regular. Work for regular only.
Are you putting it on the Google Classroom?
It's going to be a video, yeah? It's going to be posted there. Know how to label them. I stick to my pentagons because that's the only one I can really draw. Okay? But you got to know that where is the central. Some students are really close. They're like, there, Mr. Dirksen, that's a central angle. Not yet. I don't know which one it is. So make sure you make that angle and put a letter there. C is my preferred, but whatever letter you choose to, and as long as you identify that that's my central angle, we're fine. And then there's interior angles up here. And exterior angle, how do you draw an exterior angle? Yeah, I know that one, Mr. Dirksen. Look, it's pretty good, isn't it? That one is not an exterior angle, unfortunately. You gotta pick a side and just travel along that one, okay? So this is a no-no, okay? You don't just go out into space, right? You gotta kind of figure out this is the side I extended, and that's my exterior angle, okay? Well, that's just me here, okay? So ice is there, you should be able to label it, you should be able to calculate it, know how to do that. Also know your backwards, okay? Find number of sides. Start with formula. You got to be able to do that one as well. So you pick, I'm going to give you the number of one of these, like the actual degrees. D is not a degrees, that's number of diagonals, right? But I give you any of one of those, and you've got to work backwards to solve for n. We've done tons of them, so just go back and check that. Last but not last quite, but this is inscribed. Inscribed polys, okay? I'm going to try a hexagon. I think I can do a hexagon. So it's basically two trapezoids. Looks like the Superman logo, right? Anyways. Right, if you have a diagonal here, then this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a pentagon. And this is a triangle up here, okay? Start with interior angle of large polygon, okay? That's what you want to start with. So basically figure out I, like what is that? And then you know all of these out here, okay? And then figure out the angle so inscribe polygons, have the formulas, okay? No formulas. And I'm saying no, right? I'm not saying no formulas. Know your formulas, all right? Anyways. And tessellations. Can you tile a floor? Is this everything that we possibly have covered? No, but this gives you a pretty good idea. So this is where you need to like go over your notes and all your ACs and check if you're able to do that. Let me see here. I'm gonna